Ugh, I hate my wardrobe. What is wrong with this outfit? Why does everything look bad on me? It's like our style relationships have hit a rocky patch, and here's what we need to fall back in love with them. Hi, I'm Gabriela Ruda, your host for the Style POV podcast, and I'm here to help you learn to trust your fashion instincts, hone your authentic style POV, and find strength through style. Your style is a journey. No matter if this is day 1 or day 1034, there will be fashion wins and progress and moments that you just feel like you're in a slump. It's like you were killing it, loving all your outfits, feeling that person staring back at you in the mirror, and then it's just not quite right. It's a little off or just blech. This is normal. If our style journeys are something that occurs constantly throughout our lifetime, then it would be unreasonable for us to say it always needs to be trending forward and to the right. Better outfits, better style, happier selves. But linear growth isn't feasible when we think about how many decades of style we're going to progress through. You have to first accept that there will be seasons where your style is not where you want it to be. And instead of looking at it like, ugh, I hate this, try to view it as a marker of your progress and the potential for new style input to move you towards your next style level. Style slumps are just style problems that we haven't found an answer to yet, which is exciting because there is an answer. And that answer will most likely move your style needle forward and teach you more about yourself. So when you're hitting a style slump, how can you transform it to, woe is me, this stinks, to, okay, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and figure this out? The first thing you need to do is admit there's a problem. If you've been taking your daily outfit photos, start reviewing them and just see, okay, when did this shift happen? When did I go from liking my outfits to just feeling meh about all of them? This can be important for a few reasons. It can either show you that you're just bored with your current style, or it can pinpoint if there's a new style system, input, or advice that you're trying to force into your style toolbox with less success than you would have originally anticipated. And then there's also a third option. You could be boxing yourself in. You watched a video, determined you have romantic essence, and feel like everything you wear needs to incorporate this very narrowly defined version of romantic. Pinpointing when the shift occurred is important because it can give you clues on how to solve it. Now, if you don't have any daily outfit photos to refer back to, then your first step is going to be start taking them. If you don't have any data to examine, you're basically just going off of general emotion. I'm not feeling my outfits right now. That's a valid emotion, but there's little guidance on how to change this feeling given that we have no reference points. Sometimes we encounter a style slump also when we get new style input, even when it's positive. I just completed my color analysis training and we determined me to be a bright spring. I am doing a slow and intentional wardrobe pivot. Because of this, I might not feel as satisfied with some of my outfits because now I know what they could look like in my bright spring colors. If this is the root of your style slump, patience is your friend, and knowing that the wins are on the other side of intentional style work and vetting pieces properly. And using your 4 style pillars to shop is a great tool to help keep you on track, which I have a video in the show notes on how to do this. But you have to determine, is there something I'm not loving about my current style, or am I just anxious to get to the next level? Because while both problems involve strategically thinking about your style, if you're not loving your style, you also need to diagnose the problem. Next, we want to come up with a strategy and a goal to track so that we can keep our forward momentum. Sitting in the my outfits stink zone and just hoping they will get better is a lot like being in debt and just hoping to win the lottery. Good luck. Here we like action steps, we like plans, and we like to approach our styles with both form and function in mind. So the strategy I found super helpful is to use the 4 style pillars and your style toolbox and start going through your best outfits in the past and your current ones. Is there a disconnect somewhere? Did you start mindlessly following a trend that doesn't quite align with your style parameters? Did you buy too many impulse purchases that don't meet your lifestyle needs? And I highly recommend you check out the Style Pillars content for some more guidance on this. It's my method of breaking down your style into a very simple framework to guide you. Once you start noticing these things, for instance, maybe you uncovered that you bought quite a few new pieces that didn't fill your wardrobe needs or weren't aligned with your style statement. Then the strategy would be to do a closet audit, which I have a resource on in the show notes. If it's a more general complaint like, I just don't like the way I look, you need to dig deeper. What don't you like? Vet this against your style toolbox and systematically go through each element. You may find it to be my clothes aren't fitting properly, or they look a bit off for my body shape, or maybe it's that I don't like how I look unpolished. Whatever the problem is, there is a strategy for you. If its clothes are a mismatch for body type, maybe you dig into the 4 pillars concept or you explore Kibi a bit more, except that there will be more exploration and data collection needed. If it's that you feel unpolished, examine what the word polished means to you. Even create a Pinterest board around it so that you have a visual reference of what that word means to you. So narrowing down the problem and coming up with some strategies is done. Now what? Style slump problems can be bigger arching themes and can feel like a lot to bite off at one time. Like, how can you possibly tackle, I just want to like clothes on my body in a week or two? So SMART goals or style protocols, which we talk about in episode 7, are key. We want an overarching goal, but we need to also break them into manageable steps. So I'd like you to set a timeline for a micro goal. If your style slump is being caused by poorly fitted garments or garments that aren't looking great on your body, then target one element to experiment with. There are too many variables when we try to consider the fabric, the aesthetic, the hair, the lines, the accessories, the colors, and it just keeps going on and on. Instead, pick one part to focus on. I'm going to explore what I like in my pants. I'm going to evaluate the style pillars of garments I like and try to find pants that match these elements. Then I will try them on and I will see how they work in real life. Then I'll refine it and repeat. So if my style pillars are soft fluid lines and my shapes are a lot of bell shapes, circles, and figure eights, then maybe I'll look for light soft fabric pants that have round shapes in the hip and skim the body down and narrow in towards my ankle. We are breaking down an overarching problem into one element and breaking that one element down and comparing it to our style toolbox. It's like a science experiment, removing an abundance of variables so that we can have more accurate results and test our hypothesis. But remember, if it's all theory or you're just sitting there looking at images and not actually trying it out in real life, you're not moving forward. Which gets me to the next step. We think of our style as a noun. It's our style. It's my style. I'm a flamboyant natural. I'm a bright spring. All the names makes it feel like it's something we own. And it is. We want to take ownership of our styles, of course, but we forget that to style is also a verb. And that is pivotal to keep yourself moving towards your style goals and improving your ultimate aesthetic. One of the single best things you can do for your style is to stay in motion, to continue to actively try on and explore things on your body. Because theory is great, but until you've tried that outfit on and lived it a day in your life, it's just a pretty Pinterest image you pinned. So when you're feeling a bit meh about your style, think about it like buried treasure. You know the treasure is somewhere close by. Your style GPS says you're close. But until you start digging and reorienting yourself, that gold won't be yours. Now, style slumps or feeling a bit lackluster about your style or one element to your style is normal. And you shouldn't view it like your progress has been lost because it's usually the opposite. You've acquired so much great style knowledge that your expectations are now higher for yourself. But there is also another culprit when it comes to style dissatisfaction, and it's usually a twofold issue: comparison and consumption. Okay, let's talk about the comparison trap. Our lives have been filled with comparison metrics. We no longer just hunt, gather, and survive. We track, measure, compare, optimize, and statistically place ourselves among the top or bottom of the curve. It can be exhausting. Social media alone has opened the door to so much comparison that we don't even realize it's become a thief of joy for us. Where we once would have been thrilled to just like the way this outfit looks, we now think, but I still don't look like this person, or I don't have what that person has. We need to remember that everyone is at different junctures within their style journey and are solving for different outcomes. A fashion win is a fashion win, so it's wise to mute or remove accounts or platforms that cause you to feel like your style isn't good enough. Similarly, it can be wonderful to find a group of people on a similar path point as you to cheer each other on and support one another. Replace the comparison noise with support and commiseration, and you feel seen, heard, and understood, which gives you the strength to keep working through your style slumps and achieving those targeted micro goals. The second issue is consumption. We consume content. a lot of it. And sometimes the content is like a healthy meal that gives you all the healthy style nutrients you need. And sometimes it's more like junk food, a bag of chips that are totally satisfying and enjoyable in that moment. But if you're in a style slump or just not feeling great about your own personal style or body, it is wise to start examining the content you are consuming and participating in. If you're spending all your time watching celebrity kibby typings on TikTok or arguing on Reddit about Taylor Swift being light spring versus light summer, that isn't really style work. That's style entertainment. And when you're loving your style, it can be a great, fun hobby or a source of enjoyment. Go for it. But if you're already feeling low about your style, you may need a quote, healthy style meal, quote, instead of the equivalent of a style candy bar. When you're in a style slump and you're consuming new style content, which is a natural thing to do because you think maybe this piece of content will give me the answer I need, start asking yourself a simple question after watching, reading, listening, which is, what did I learn that I can turn into an actionable step for my style journey? I hope after listening to this podcast, you can say, I learned how to tackle my style problems and move my style journey forward in a positive way by doing X, Y, and Z. If you watched a piece of content and learned that Anne Hathaway is kibby with, even though she's conventionally fairly narrow, well, fun to learn, but not what you need when you're in a style slump. When we are down on our styles, we need to filter things more carefully. We are in a more sensitive place and we can be triggered more easily to feel bad about our own styles, and it can make improvement feel insurmountable. This isn't a forever ban on fun content. It's just a pause so that you can put the energy you have into moving your style forward and feeling good in your clothes. Okay, last point. What if you need feedback? We want to learn to trust our own fashion instincts, but sometimes we do need advice. It is so important to consider the source when you get feedback. Well-intentioned strangers and not so well-intentioned strangers should be taken with a grain of salt. Professionals can help if you go in with the right questions and have narrowed your style slump issues down. And also, like-minded peers are great. I like to ask myself, would I value this person's opinion of me in real life? Would I be friends with them? Would I respect their values and communication styles? Would I enjoy learning from them? Would I respect them? Because getting 100 people on a forum to comment what could be wrong might give you a nugget of information, but it also comes with a lot of noise. Better to find a style buddy or similarly aligned group to get feedback from, and to know to ask the right questions. For instance, if you just posted, I'm bored with my style, you'll get 50 different answers on how to fix that, and most will not include your unique style POV, but instead the commenter's preferences. A better feedback approach would be, I'm working on finding pants that suit my body type. I like long, straight lines, rectangular shapes, and bright colors. Which of these two straight leg jeans fit those parameters best? Targeted questions with a baseline of your style parameters will get you a lot more actionable comments. We can't pretend that we won't ever face a style hurdle again, but what we want to do is be capable of finding our own style solution, to feel confident in our style expression and express our own unique style POV. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. The Style POV podcast content is for general informational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views expressed by hosts and guests are their own. Gabriella Ruda is not liable for any errors or omissions, and listeners use the information at their own risk.